Hello and welcome back to Roads Yet Traveled. We'll be continuing where we left off, which, if you recall, is on day 5, I believe? And right after the translation AI was installed on these 3 dogs. That sounds so funny, like, oh, I'm gonna get an AI installed into my brain, presumably. It's gonna help me translate this alien's language. But it's not gonna do it automatically, it's gonna do it through context. Not that that's a bad thing, it's just, it seems funny. Anyways, but yeah. So, things went well, I guess. Rowan couldn't stay that much, he didn't participate that much, but I think it has more to do with the fact that the other 2 are there. Because he seems more animated when it's just him and the human, which I can relate to. I am very more animated when it is just me and one person than when it's me interacting with a group of people. I just sort of go back into my own little corner and, just not say anything. Maybe that's why I like Rowan. Anyways, so who knows what the next day has in store? Probably a bit more of, conversation stuff, building, vocabulary building, or whatever, I don't know. Anyways, but without further ado, let us continue. Shit. Did I fall asleep at my desk? I feel sore as hell. Slowly opening my eyes, I met with the reality that I did in fact fall asleep at my desk. Ugh. Let's try not to do that again. I'm gonna need to stretch or something. I feel terrible. Looking at the wall, I see... Fuck! I fall back on my ass, taking the chair with me. That's what you get for watching me sleep. Not gonna happen again. I stare up at him in total shock. His eyes look a bit half-lilted and his outfit is a wrinkled mess. Did he wake up early just to do that? Bastard. But I guess it was kind of funny. Funny bearing my sore butt. My expression does not express that humor, though. Ugh, jackass. Good morning to you, too. I guess. I get up and stretch my back as well as I can. Which is not much. I don't think I sprained anything. But a shock like that so early in the morning can't be good for me. Maruk just seems to be reveling in his little victory. Although, I don't think he accounted for something. I think I have trapped him. Well, there go my morning plans. Shame. I guess we'll just have to have a chat instead. Or maybe you should go back to bed? You are looking sleepy. My mirth is drowned from his face as he realizes what I'm implying. Even if he can't understand all of it. He curses to himself quietly and turns to face me. Eyes now half-lilted. Not in drowsiness, but in an accusatory stare. I liked you better when I couldn't understand you. But fine. I get to choose what we talk about, though. You drive a hard bargain, but deal. What? I could barely understand what you just said. Take it slow. You're lucky that I can understand you at all. Shit, right. I shouldn't push it, really. We've only had this luxury for less than a day. They still need to learn my vocabulary, let alone idioms. Sorry. Right. The topic? Maruk gives me a shifty look before gazing off as if to ponder what to talk about. I guess he didn't have anything in mind. It is pretty early in the morning. I think. So like, I know I've asked you this already, but what are you? And before you answer all stupid and innocent, I mean, you called yourself a human, yeah? You're like some kind of mammal, I'm assuming? I vaguely remember Doc saying something like that. And can you finally answer what your title is? Are you a scientist? A soldier? An explorer? I'd be a bit flattered that he's so interested in me, if I didn't know that he still wants to interrogate me and is still a bit, let's say, cautious about letting me out of my cell. Still, no better way to assuage his fears than talking to him like this. I should count my blessings that he's even bothering to talk to me now. Yeah, I'm a mammal. Warm blood, bones on the inside, that stuff. I've forgotten what defines mammals exactly. I think live births is another. I'll skip that for now. And as far as titles goes, well, student. I read, write papers, go to classes. You get what I'm saying? Some of it. It's weird. I didn't know the word for mammal in your language until you said it after saying, yeah, I'm a, and it filled it in. The rest was a bit messy. You learn for a living? Well, no. I go to school. I'm being taught. Like this right now, kind of. Oh. A student. That's disappointing. Disappointing? I expected more for someone who manages to find their way into such a secure place. Huh. Well, since you brought it up, I do happen to like the title of Explorer. It's a bit infuriating trying to get a read on you. What do you mean? Well, I can barely understand half of what you're saying. But also, just look at you. My brain is telling me that I shouldn't be able to talk to you at all. And your lack of ear and tail movements is fucking annoying. I just have to settle for your facial expressions to understand you. It's just confusing. But you have facial expressions too. Why do you need ear and tail movements? Easier questions, damn it. Fuck. Why ears important? I don't know if you understand. I haven't seen you move your ears once. Can you even move your ears, I mean? Not really. Some people can, but it's more, for show? You wouldn't understand, I guess. No, I get it. We have some species back home that do the same thing. I'm just asking, why do you need to focus on people's ears when you can talk and you also have that defined facial expressions? Look. I'm trying to be polite here, kid. But please. When you talk gibberish at me, it hurts a bit, alright? I got some of that. We use our ears for, like, little things. Sometimes it just happens. I guess it's the same as a facial expression. Look, ask Doc or something. I can't describe it. Sorry. It's fine. Did you say something else? I don't know if it's worth bringing up again, but he seems curious. Well, or at least polite enough to feign curiosity. Other species back home use ears to talk. Wait, what? Sorry, you do have an understanding of why ears are important to communication? Well, yes and no. We understand they use them, but not what they are saying. Oh, so it's a more primitive species? We have those too. I guess that's probably obvious. I think I'll refrain from telling him that they look exactly like him, but on 4 legs and a lot less advanced. Still, not really sure how to approach that topic. But I decide I'll shelve it for now. So, any other questions? Receiving a cold stare from Maruk feels like a pretty clear answer. Although to my surprise, he decides to continue our conversation. So, you could understand us from the beginning, yeah? Like, right when we first saw you? Yeah, pretty much. Is that normal for you? No, definitely not. I can only speak one language. I couldn't even understand any other languages back home. Do you have a lot of languages where you're from? A few. Heh. Sounds about right. Still, it doesn't sit right with me. Seems beneficial. At least now, though. Yeah? I guess. Still freaks me out a bit. I mean, I've been freaked out since I got here, so, you know. Despite my killer joke, Maruk doesn't laugh. I'll just assume he doesn't get it. With that awkward silence becoming unbearable, I foolishly try to reignite some kind of conversation. So, the plans for today? What of them? Are we doing anything? The same thing that's been done every day for the past week. Make sure that you don't leave your cell. Try to keep order. Etc., etc. Right. Sorry. It's fine. You can understand everything, right? You know how things are right now, right? Well, I can understand the words, but not all the meanings. If that makes sense. Oh, great. We have opposite problems. How helpful. Heh, yeah, I guess. So, the door down the hall shoots open, cutting off Maruk's inquiry. Maruk just clears his throat and steps back to see who is coming. I guess we'll pick up on that some other time. Since Maruk doesn't flinch to attention, I'm pretty sure it's safe to assume it's just good old. Good morning, Maruk. Good morning, Tucker. Oh, were you already getting to work this morning? Wonderful. Yep. Seems he brought breakfast too. Thank goodness. After dropping off something for Maruk to eat, he walks straight to the door and lets himself in, situating himself right next to me again. It's not unusual now. He's been doing it for a few days, but it's no less surprising. He's basically brushing up against me at this point. At least, I'm a bit warmer. How are you doing today, Tucker? Having a nice conversation with Maruk, I hope. I'm okay, Doc. Thanks. And, yeah. Just talking about... well, me mainly. And such. Well, that's good. I hope you don't get too bored of that. It might become a topic of much intrigue. Yeah. Seems like it might. Don't worry. It will be okay. Here. Have some breakfast. We can talk later. No rush at all. You seem happier than usual this morning, Doc. Sleep well? In lieu of an answer, he gives me one of his signature big dopey smiles and puts some breakfast in front of me. Maybe he didn't understand me. Hey, Doc, can you pup sit by yourself for a bit? I need to catch up on some work. Oh, yes, that's fine. Just come back when you're done and help with... well... this. Yeah, I got it. I have a not-so-sneaking suspicion that I'm being treated like a child. But I just can't put my finger on it. I hope Doc doesn't think that I'm some helpless wretch. He'd never say it like that. But the idea stands. So, while you're eating, if you don't mind, I thought I'd go over our plans today, Nothing too serious. Just some ideas I had. Oh, sure, Doc. Lay it on me. Right. Well, let's see. Right. I should lay off the phrases and idioms for now. They'll seem to cause a lot of issues. So, first I made a list of things that I think would be beneficial to go over. ideas and concepts, some sentences, things like that. Then I thought we could try to hold a conversation. About anything, really. Just see how far we can get. I believe director Rowan will be free around then. He sent me his schedule, although I could barely understand it. It was a mess. But yes, after he is here, we should have a more decent grasp on how your language works. Then tonight, I believe Professor Seno wants to stop by and make an announcement of some kind. An announcement? I wonder what that could be about. With all the talk of things going on outside, I hope it's nothing too worrying. And why does it always the chief? I know the captain put him in charge of, well, me. But doesn't she call the shots around here? Shouldn't she be the one with an announcement? And, hello? Tucker? Are you alright? I was zoning out again. Huh? Oh, sorry. What did you say? I said, does that sound alright for today? Is that too much? If so, we can slow down. Oh no, it sounds fine. Thank you, Marowyn. I was a bit out of it. I'm fine, really. I don't think he believes me. Are you sure? You can tell me if you're not. It's my job to take care of you now. Yes, I know. Thank you. Well, in truth, the announcement you mentioned, is that something that I need to be worried about? A large grin spreads across his face. All memory of this previous caution is lost to the wind. Oh, sorry, I was being ominous about that? I think you'll find it quite interesting. But I promise him I wouldn't tell you. That's even more ominous. He can tell that I'm not happy with that answer, though. I'm sorry, Tucker. It's nothing bad, really, I promise. I know it may be hard to believe, but I really am trying to make everything here easier for you. I guess he deserves the benefit of the doubt. Still, being ominous about the chief scares me. Even from my cell, I can tell the power he holds here. Looking up to Marowyn's worried brow, I offer a thank you. And a smile. He returns a slightly less genuine smile and clears his throat. Well then. You finish up your breakfast and I'll get things in order. After finishing what has become a routine meal for me, I put my dishes aside and wait for Doc to finish up. Maruk walks back over to, seemingly done with whatever work he had. I'm surprised. I figured that he would stay over there for as long as he could. Maybe he's too dedicated to his job. So, is this the all-important list you mentioned, Doc? Everything we need to know to hold a meaningful conversation? I wouldn't put that much faith in it. But I do believe that it will help up at least the smallest bits. Maruk is scrolling through some screens on his monitor. I can't make it out on account of it being reversed and through like 6 inches of glass. But it seems like a pretty long list. I wonder if Doc expects us to read it all back and forth. Oh, here, Tucker, I prepared one for you too. He hands me a neatly printed out and stapled together document. I guess they still use paper here, at least some of them. Looking at the document, though, I get the immediate thought that there might have been a slight mistake. Hey, Doc? Yes, Tucker? You know I can't read this, right? Marrow looks at his paper before looking at me, gently taking my paper from me. He has a confused look on his muzzle. So wait. I'm sorry. You can completely understand what we are saying. Every word. But you can't read our language at all? I guess not. No. That's fucking creepy. Maruk! Be nice. No, Doc, I think he's right this time. I hadn't realized that these symbols were how you write. It makes sense in hindsight. I can see the gears turning in their brains. I've got to use easier sentences. Yeah. I can't read these. Doc looks a bit dejected at his list before turning to Maruk, who just shrugs. Oh, well then... that certainly is... interesting. Really, none of it? Not even this? He points to a mess of 3 symbols. Thinking back, they don't even look like any of the ones that I've seen so far. Nope. Sorry, Doc. Pinching his brow, he lets out a small sigh. I probably just made his job harder again. There go some of my theories. Better to just get rid of them than worry about it any longer, though. Well, you certainly are an interesting one, Tucker. No worries. I'll just read them out to you. Oh, yeah, sure. If you say so, Doc. Sounds good to me. Is that a yes or a no? Sorry, I don't quite understand. Ugh, I did it again. Even little things like that won't translate correctly. This is proving to be a hassle. I've never thought about how much of my vocabulary is just phrases and slang and such. Which shouldn't be an issue, but I do need to explain it to them. Sorry, Doc. That is a yes. Alright. So, as you can see here... well... I thought it might be beneficial to start with common phrases. In case you need to ask for anything. For example, I thought something as simple as "what time is it" would be great. Seems like a bulk of the day might be call and response. Although boring, it's probably the best since I've already confused them a few times just talking away. Oh, what time is it? Doc just nods. Maruk seems to be checking the list, maybe curious as to what he will go over later. Actually, I hope they don't mind. But I do have a question to ask beforehand. Doc? Wait. Is something wrong? No. I was just curious. Can you explain time to me? Time here. How does time work here? He tilts his head at me, which has the unintended consequence of making him look very cute as his ears flop over. But it seems as though my question didn't hit the mark. I mean, he's asking how we count time. Right? I'm surprised to see Maruk was actually even paying attention. Let alone enough attention to figure out what I was asking. Oh, yeah, that. The days feel longer here. Interesting. I suppose it would be silly to expect all systems to have even remotely similar ways of counting time. Especially since some of our own planets don't follow Lian time. What the hell is Lian? Is that their planet? I guess they never really told me where they're from. Wait, do they have more than one planet colonized? Sorry, Tucker. I got lost in my own thoughts there a bit. Everyone tries to follow Lian time, a system of 34 marks in a day. It keeps everyone organized. Seems longer than my days. Probably. That would explain your erratic sleep schedule. I was worried while observing you. At first I believed your species might just sleep at random times. But are you trying to say that you were just not used to such a long days and nights? Yes. Ah, well, that would certainly be a problem. It seems that you have acclimated more now? Not so many issues? Yeah. Thanks, Doc. Of course. Do you have any other questions, or should we proceed? I have 1,000 questions, but right now I don't think I can ask most of them. I barely got through asking the last one, and it was only due to Maruk of all people, who helped translate. A singular thought does come to mind, though. A concern of our missing member. One question. Doc, shouldn't we wait for Rowan? Won't he need to learn the words too? Wait for Rowan to... Ah! No worries. You are worried about him not being here to learn with us, correct? I nod. A small setback. He will have to simply update his version to include all the new words. Really? That's it? That's simple? I probably ruined that explanation. It's of course far more complicated. But essentially he has nothing to worry about. He'll stop by with Professor Seno before coming over, and he should be all caught up. It definitely sounds like something is being left out. Like, sure, he can download it, as crazy as that sounds, but that's the normal part. When is it uploaded, though? Who's uploading the new data? Are their neurals Wi-Fi capable? Ugh. Whatever. As long as Rowan can understand me, I won't press it for now. Okay, Doc. He gives another less than reassuring smile, and we slowly work our way through this list. Where is the bathroom? What's for dinner? Can I eat this? It's not particularly interesting, but I can't complain with the sheer amount of ground we are covering. We covered some important words like sick, hurt, sad, alone. Actually, I think he put those all in for me. Well, it's all for me, but those specifically because he's worried. That's kind of him. Either way, after a while, it gets too much and I have to signal Doc to stop. Are you alright? Did I say something wrong? No. Sorry, Doc. I just need a break. Break being another new word we covered. Maruk stands up and stretches. Sounds good to me. I'm dying sitting down like this. Anyways, I'm gonna get a drink. Tired of water. Doc, you want anything? No. Thank you, Maruk. I'm not against drinking, but isn't he on the clock right now? He probably just means a normal drink. I'm exhausted. Although now I am curious if they do have alcohol. Dogahol. Not my best. Turning to the doc, I met with a warm smile as he flips through some of the remaining pages of his document. We got through most of it. Well, like 2/3. It's denser than I thought. It does make me wonder how their writing system works here. It's getting close to lunch, Tucker. Perhaps we should break until then. I believe Rowan should be coming a bit sooner than expected. It seems he has... Well, I couldn't tell by his message earlier, but it seems like he finished work early. His message? Do you have a monitor? I've never seen you use one. He looks a bit stunned. I think I keep surprising him by how intelligent I am sometimes. That's not trying to brag. I just think he underestimates me. Being trapped in a cage doesn't really make me seem very smart, so it's understandable. Oh. Yes, let me just... He reaches around and pats down his pockets trying to find something. He does have a monitor, right? Ah, here! He pulled out a small, phone-like device. Does he have a goddamn flip phone? You must not have noticed me checking it. I even forgot where I put it. He holds it out for me to look at. It looks dead. I try not to show my suspicion. Although, as you may or may not know, as someone with a neural, I don't particularly need a monitor. What do you mean? Well, a neural can perform most of the same functions. I'm sure you've seen Rowan use his. Well, his arm to perform tasks, no? I suppose I have. But is Doc trying to tell me that the chip in his head acts like a cell phone? That seems a bit much to believe. So, wait. Can message people with your neural like a monitor? Oh, I believe I have misled you slightly. I merely meant that it can perform some of the functions a monitor can. He seems to have gone back on that statement pretty quickly. Something feels up but I don't know why Doc would lie to me. Okay. It's fine, I misunderstood. Although, I did want to ask, if I may. Doc? Why do you have a neural? He looks a bit worried. I wonder if I should stop talking. I find myself unable to do so. I know I can finally learn something and I feel compelled to do so. I mean, besides what you said about neurals being used for monitor replacements, they seem to interface with, well, replacement body parts. Like Rowan's arm and Maruk's eye. I think it's his eye, at least. What are you asking, Tucker? He sounds almost cold asking that. Perhaps not cold, but clinical. I hope I'm not overstepping my bounds. But going back now would also feel foolish. I'm curious, Marrow. You don't seem to be, well, missing any body parts, so why do you have a neural if a monitor can do everything it can do? His eyes widen, and he looks around the room as if someone else were there. I can see he, consciously or not, is tightening up and folding his arms. Shit, I made the one Kirain here who truly cares about me nervous. I have to do something now. Hey Doc, I'm sorry You really are surprising. He cuts me off before I have a chance to fully apologize. He seems to regain some sense of composure before beginning again. I'm sorry. I'm fine, really. Most Kirains don't see through my poor excuses so easily. Being the head doctor here, most don't even question it. I sit and wait. Stunned. Petrified that I have ruined what little good faith he had in me. Tucker, I am heartless. What? No, you're... Literally. I meant that as a fact, Tucker. I was born with a congenital heart defect. If it wasn't dealt with, I would have passed away. When I was very young, I had it removed and replaced with a machine. My neural helps keep it working. My father said that I was lucky to be born with such a long fur because you can't even see the scars. Merowyn, I'm so sorry. I had no idea. He takes a few moments to compose himself further. A few deep breaths and a wipe of his massive brow. I sit, unable to move, hoping beyond hope that I haven't ostracized myself. I think Merowyn finally realizes how worried I am. His trademark smile returns to his face. I'm sorry for worrying you, Tucker. This is just something that I don't talk about often. It's quite personal to me, as you can imagine. But please, think nothing of it. I am not upset in the slightest. You simply caught me off guard. Are you sure? I'm really sorry for bringing it up. I mean it, Tucker. No harm done whatsoever. He puts a large paw down next to me, as if asking for permission for something. I simply pat it. He looks confused but happy. Hehe. Although, Tucker, I should warn you. While I am fine talking about my neural and the reasons I have it, it would be more considerate when approaching this topic around Rowan or Maruk. They have their own reasons for them that I cannot get into. Just know to be more careful around them. Please. I have already asked Rowan about his arm. I guess in hindsight that was really a dumb thing to do. Oh. Of course. I'm sorry again, Merowyn. Really. It's fine, it's fine. I'll hear no more of it. Huh. You just surprised me is all, really. I think his disarming smile is getting to me, as I do believe him. Best drop it for now anyways. Wait. No. There is one more thing. Merowyn? I'm sorry, I do have one more question. Hmm? Yes, what is it? You mentioned your father earlier. Is your father the chief? I mean, Tyr? Oh, yes. How observant of you. Heh, from the first day you really were just watching us as we were watching you, him? But yes, Professor Senno is my father. My adoptive father. I was just wondering with the last names and all. Curious. They work the same way where I'm from. Really? Fascinating. I guess some things are eerily similar even across the stars. We share a faint smile before the sound of a door opening draws our attention. My favorite warden has returned. He walks over to us and gives us a judgmental once-over. Did I miss something? Oh no. Just... chatting. He just rolls his eyes and holds up a colorful bottle. Doc, this the one you like? Hmm? Oh! Thank you, Maruk. You didn't have to get that. Don't worry about it. It looks more like some kind of juice than anything alcoholic. At least by the labeling. So, what now? Did you go over more of the list while I was gone? Or are we waiting for him to show up? Him? No, we're just taking a break. When Rowan gets here, we can continue. Whatever. Right. Well, until then, we should still try to work a bit. Any ideas on your mind, Tucker? Well, I got a question for you. I guess Maruk is going to lead this conversation then. It's fine. I guess. Maruk, we talked about this. What? It's fine, Doc. I didn't have much to say. He looks unconvinced, but I'm just used to Maruk being a jackass already, so whatever. Can you tell us more about your species? Humans, or whatever you call them. What do you want to know? So, you say that you aren't capable of, faster-than-light travel. But you're here. Well, yeah. But I don't know how I got here. Are you capable of faster-than-light travel? Maruk looks like he's going to answer, but falters, turning to Doc to answer instead. Do we? No. Not that I know of. And I would probably know. Yeah. So strange. Well, what technology do you have then? You've got spaceflight, right? Yes, but no. We can get to space, but it's not easy. And we only have really small space stations. Nothing like this. The novelty of casually acknowledging that I'm on a space station of some kind is not lost on me. It is in fact still something that I have a hard time parsing, and would like more concrete proof than their word. I hope that I can find a window soon. If they even have windows. So, only the beginnings of space travel? Interesting. In your drawings, you also showed satellites, though. And we believe your monitor device is also capable of sending and receiving signals. Correct? Yeah, we have plenty of satellites. Too many, I think, actually. And my phone could send signals, yes. Now that we are talking about this topic, I suppose I did have a question in mind as well. If you don't mind. I was curious if you could elaborate on how you live. How your species lives, I suppose. Oh, sure, I can try. A single rogue thought strikes me. That's a fairly innocuous question and all. But what are the chances? No matter how small, that I am telling them something that I shouldn't. Could they, invade Earth? I could be betraying my whole species and not even know it. They say that they don't have faster-than-light travel, but they could just be lying. My paranoia might be getting the best of me. This is dipping a bit too much into crappy sci-fi even for me. Even so, I'll keep it vague. It's not like I could tell them how to cripple Earth's defenses anyways. I could barely find my way around a college campus, let alone to explain a map of the interplanetary defenses of Earth. Wait. I'm zoning out again, damn it. Right, sorry, what did you ask? No worries, Tucker. I simply asked if you could maybe tell us how your species chooses to live on your planet. Wait. You do have a name for your planet, right? Oh, yeah. It's Earth. Or Terra? Gaia? Earth. It's Earth. That's a lovely name. Dumb name. Doc shoots Maruk a nasty side-eye and he straightens up a bit. Our home planet is named Laio. Oh, that's a nice name. It's similar to a name that we have for a moon. How charming. Coincidental. I guess so. Ahem. We've gotten a bit off track here, haven't we? You're quite right. Thank you, Maruk. Now, Tucker, if you don't mind. Right. Well, most people live in cities all across the planet. There are lots of oceans. Wow. It's harder to explain the human experience than I thought it would be. Doc writing down everything I say as gospel really isn't helping. There's a lot of trees and forests. People usually choose to live in towns and drive around with cars. Sorry, Tucker. This might be a bit too early, still. I'm not getting a lot of this. Oh, right. The AI. Yeah, we can come back to it. Sorry, Doc. It's fine. Maybe we should talk about something easier. Can you describe your species more? Or we could always wait till lunch. No, it's fine. What do you mean describe, though? Well, I hope that you have seen. Karain can be quite different from each other. But we are all the same species genetically. And there are male and female Karain. That sort of thing. Oh, yeah, sure. Humans can have darker or lighter skin. And there are male and female humans as well. Wait. You've all been referring to me as a male. Right? Yes? Why do you bring it up? How do you know that I'm a male? Meryl tries to look off, as if he's avoiding the question. Well, you are, aren't you? A male? Merowyn. Answer the question. Well, when you were still out, after you were apprehended, the emergency medical team did a quick examination of you. And, well, we simply assumed the rest. I feel my face becoming quite flush. I guess that would explain some things. I'm sorry about that. It was before I was briefed on what was going on. And before I stopped them from going further. Actually? I'm not going to think about that right now. Right. Well, yes. I am... male. That certainly sucked the life out of the room. Even Maruk looks embarrassed. Trying to keep things going and move on from whatever that was, I decide to ask another question that has been on my mind. Hey, so, there is something that I've been curious about. They both snap back to reality and look at me. Doc clears his throat. Yes, Tucker? I've been having a hard time gauging how old you are. On account of being a different species and all. If you don't mind me asking. Oh, of course. I was curious about that for you as well. I am 34 lane years old. Although I am still unsure how old that would make me in Earth years. Oh. He's older than I thought. Not that he's really old, just, well, I don't know. He could live to be 300 for all I know. Looking to Maruk for an answer, I'm just met with a glare. I return a confused expression. You first. Really? I'm 25. In Earth years? He lets out a sigh. Thank the eye. If you were older than me, I had to feign some kind of respect for you. I'd quit right now. That doesn't answer the question. Huh? Oh. 29. Maruk? Dog gives Maruk a disapproving stare, to which Maruk simply scoffs and turns away. I'm 27. By the heart! By the heart! Rowan just looks around confused. It seems none of us noticed him come in. Am I interrupting something? I brought lunch. He harmlessly shows off the lunch tray he's carrying. How is he always so sneaky? I can't help but laugh. Only Meryl laughs with me. Lunch was about as exciting as breakfast, which is to say, repetitive and bland. Everyone sat painfully quiet. Maruk and Rowan turned away from each other like children. Merowyn barely sipped on the drink he was given. I hope all of our meals aren't this stressful. Doc suggests that we continue with his list for a bit, to which there is no objection nor jubilation. Repeating more sentences and lists of words back and forth. The end will be worth it, but it's a boring process for sure. I preferred when we were just talking, no matter how awkward it got. Fortunately, for all of us, in a mark or so, the list runs dry. Well, that's what I had planned for today. I do suggest that we maybe converse a bit more. It will be a few marks before Professor Seno has time to stop by. Well? Any ideas, Doc? Me? No. Not particularly. Everyone seemingly stares off into their own little worlds. No one wanting to impose a topic onto the others. I'm more tired than I thought myself. At least socially. An idea pops into my head, though. I would like to try and get to know these three better. I mean, it seems like I'm going to be stuck with them for a while, so I see no reason not to. I have a question, actually, if you don't mind. I was curious about this place. This station. Of course. What are you curious about? Well, can you tell me what you do here? Besides, like, the job titles. I mean, what's the station for? And how big is it? Those are some worrying questions, Kit. Any reason you're asking? Maruk, please put some faith into Tucker. They are just curious about where they are forced to live. For the foreseeable future. Those aren't even that specific questions. Fine. Maybe I am being a bit defensive. Thank you. As for your question, Tucker, the station's primary function is science. It's a mobile research vessel. Well, fairly mobile at least. Being off-world has its benefits as we can test things that might be too dangerous on the ground out here in space. That's certainly an explanation, but it does leave me more curious than not. I feel he just teased what really is going on here. As for the size, it's quite large. Our crew is over 500 now. 500? Really? This place must be massive. It is. It takes a lot to keep it running. I feel Rowan could attest to that. What? Yeah. There's always something to fix. A stellar review from Rowan, I see. Well, yes, it happens, I suppose. You mentioned that you have space stations around your world. I take it that they are not this scale? Not even close. I think the most people they can support is like 10. Then this truly must come as a surprise. I had no idea I was living in a floating city. That really is shocking. Damn, well, I better get to see more of it soon if it's so grand. This only raises more questions. So... Wow, sorry, I'm still in shock. There must be tons to do around here then. Or is it all just labs? It feels like it's all just labs. The hallways can get a bit... repetitive. Yes, that has always been an issue. But no. There are far more than just labs. There's the mess halls. There are rec rooms. Gyms. Maruk, how could you not mention the gym? I know you spend most of your off hours there. Thanks, Doc. He really needed to know my personal life. Oh, don't be like that. You're there every other day. He'd find out soon enough. Maruk looks like he wants to respond, but thinks better of it. Tisk. I'd almost feel bad if he wasn't upset over something so minute. Well, maybe the gym is where he can be alone and blow off some steam, so I can understand if he does not want me there bothering him. Still, not sure he'll have a choice when I get out. As I was saying though, there's the library. The greenhouse, the observatory, the pools. There's always something to do. A pool? In space? How do they keep the water down? Wait, speaking of, why is there gravity at all here? Shouldn't we be floating? Hey Doc, sorry to cut you short. I have another question. What is it? We're in space, right? Like, this station is floating. Yes? How is there gravity then? I'm sorry, Tucker. What's the last word? Ah, damn it. Still with this. I'm becoming spoiled with how quickly they learn that I've forgotten how much there is to still teach them. Picking up the Doc's juice bottle, taking extra care to make sure that the cap is on, I demonstrate by dropping it onto the ground. This. How come this happens? Oh! Gravity, of course. Well, I know the name of the machine. Otherwise, you're asking the wrong Karain. Rowan, do you know more about it? Once again, Rowan snaps out of whatever he was thinking about, and his eyes flit to us. He seems more aware of the situation this time. I really hope that he's okay here. He's been so kind to me, I'd hate it if he was uncomfortable. The Mayron device? Not really. The engineering staff doesn't really let me get close to it. I know it messes up with your monitor if you get close to it, though. When I was there once to fix a pipe, my arm went like numb, and it stopped working after a while. My, synthetic arm. It was fine. Sorry, I don't know more. No, that's more than enough. I mean, I hope that's enough for you, Tucker. If you wish to know more, I can ask someone to explain it to me, and let you know what I learned. No, it's fine. It just came to mind is all. That's pretty incredible either way. This place really is something. It seems almost as confusing to me as it is to them. Which in itself isn't too reassuring, but they've made it this far, so it should be fine. So, about with all of these places, what do you do when you're not working? Sleep. You already know. I haven't had much time off recently, so I couldn't say. Doc, we never take time off. You're always skulking around your lab doing something or other. You really should take some time off. That's not true. I've just been busy is all. There's a lot happening right now between this and the professor's experiment. But yes. A break would be nice. Is that really all you do with your free time, though? All of you? They all look around. Maybe surprised that I'd press them for information. I just like to get to know them more is all. I don't always just sleep. Sorry. I also enjoy going to the library to read. Or the pool. You? You go to the pool? Yes. Can you swim with that thing? It's waterproof. Although, I don't swim a lot. I mostly just sit in the shallows or the hot tub. When no one's there. There's also a sauna, which can be nice. Wait, when no one's there? What do you mean? Oh, He shifts to Marrow, as if looking for permission, before looking at the ground. I just know when it's rather quiet. You go after they close down, huh? Rowan visibly shifts on the floor, trying to find a comfortable position. Damn it, I totally put him on the spot. This isn't what I wanted. Yeah. Maruk looks him up and down, his trademark scowl not budging an inch. Not bad. Dangerous and stupid, but not bad. Did Maruk give him credit for breaking a rule? That's different. As no one makes any moves to continue that particular conversation, Doc decides to chime in. I also enjoy going to the library. It's just been hard to find the time. It's also nice to visit the observatory, to try to catch a glimpse of the eye. And amongst other things. Is it a big library? I can't imagine having books up here is such a good use of space. Another astute observation, Tucker. It's more of a reading room, although there are some books. It's only accessible to executive staff, so it's usually empty. Executive staff? Yes, like the heads of the departments and such. Actually, everyone here is an executive staff member. Oh, that's surprising. Does that cause issues with the crew? I mean, having that separation. Why would it? It's just one room. While that is a way of putting it, it's also worth noting that nothing in there is exclusive to the room. All of the books can be found on one's monitor anyways. Ah, that makes sense. It's just more of a place for the higher-ups to relax, I guess. Sounds like a nice place. Although I'm sure that it's not like the image I have in my mind of a wooden and old library with big comfy chairs and a nice fireplace. Not that I have ever been somewhere like that, though. Looking to Maruk, who has yet to answer, I find him just giving me an inquisitive look. I return an equally judgmental stare. What? Well? What do you do with your time off? Work out. That can't be it. You're saying I'm lying? I mean, yeah? I don't get the luxury of having time off. I always have to patrol something, or make schedules, or help someone out. Uh-huh. Doc leans over and not so quietly whispers in my ear. I know that Maruk enjoys hanging out in the observatory garden. Sometimes he even... Alright, Doc! Gah. You had your fun. Doc is giggling like a kid and even Rowan can't help a little smile. Maruk might even be... Wait, are his ears red? Oh wow. Poor guy. That's what you get for not sharing, I suppose. All of their ears twitch, and but a second later I hear the sound of the door down the hallway open. Everyone settles down and turns to the hallway. Rowan and Maruk see who's coming first as they stand to attention. Well, Maruk stands to attention. Rowan just gets up and dusts himself off. Doc, knowing what's coming, gets up as well. He offers me a hand. A paw to get up. He's definitely stronger than he looks, as he almost pulls my arm off, helping me up. I think he notices that he put too much effort into it. But he doesn't have time to apologize as Tyr walks into view. Director, Lieutenant, Doctor, Tucker, how has the learning AI been working for you? Exemplary, I hope? Oh yeah, Tyr, it's working Does he have a Neural installed? I have no idea if he can understand me. I give him a thumbs up and hope that translates well enough. Yes, Professor Seno. It has been working beyond expectations. A simple nod from Tyr is enough. Now I believe that you have been informed that I have some news for you. Correct? I nod. I feel this can only be one of two things. I pray that it is what I have been hoping for. After conferring with the captain, and with the input of the Dr. Seno and Lieutenant Saris here, we have tentatively agreed to grant you harbor on our station. We have concluded that you pose no immediate threat to us as a whole. Your blood samples and the air quality tests from the cell have shown that you also carry no malicious microorganisms. You are free to leave the cells as of tomorrow at the 28th mark. There are, of course, rules that you must follow, but I will allow your caretakers to elaborate on that. It is a pleasure to have you on board. I hope that we can learn much from each other. He offers a small bow, and I can barely manage a nod. I'm already getting a bit blurry-eyed. I can barely stand this. It's so great. Yes. I'm getting out of here. Ahem. Now, if you'll excuse me, I must be off to finalize some paperwork for your release. Doctor, if you would be so kind. Yes. Of course, sir. He gives me one last grand smile, causing me to almost tear up again. And then he heads out. There is only silence as they walk out, no one daring to intrude on what just happened. After an eon or so of shuffling, Rowan pipes up. Congrats, Tucker. Sounds like we might be hanging out more. Well, working more? Thank you, Rowan. I'm overjoyed. Really. I hope that it won't be too much of a bother. I'm sure you won't. We'll see. We both look at Maruk, who is still staring down the corridor, a grim mask of determination plastered on his muzzle. Isn't this what you expected? Didn't Tyr say that you advised them on the decision? I did. So... I advised them. I did not say letting you roam freely was the best option. Oh. The darkness comes creeping in, through the corners and unseen holes. But they'd be allowed out, yeah? Yes, Director, they will be. It seems that the captain has no use of my judgment, so enjoy it while it lasts. But once slip up, and I think we know where you will end back up. My heart drops in my chest. He can't be serious. Did he really advocate for me to be stuck in here longer? Maruk, are you serious? Haven't you seen how miserable I've been in here? I thought it was understood what my opinion was on this matter. And anyways, you can communicate now. You could ask all you want from Doc. I'm sure that he'd do anything for his new toy. Toy? But that's not enough, Maruk. I can't be in here. Can't you see that? And you won't be. Didn't you hear, Tyr? You're free. I stagger backwards a bit, unable to comprehend what I'm being told. Maybe this is just some kind of lapse of judgment. How could he suggest something like that, though? I notice Rowan staring at me worried. I offer a pathetic smile, but he knows of its falsity. You will be out of here tomorrow, Tucker. I'll make sure that I can be here. I promise. He gazes towards Maruk, who has already skulked back to his bench and is sending messages, or God knows what. Don't worry, Tucker. Well... He doesn't know what to say. I don't know what he could say. He doesn't have to say anything. It's Maruk who has to apologize. Or say that it was all one big joke. But he's not the humorous type. Rowan shuffles around nervously before turning to leave. I have to go. Make sure my schedule is okay. Remember, you get out tomorrow. No matter what, now. Have a good night, bud. Thanks, Rowan. You too. I'm alone now. Or rather, I almost wish that I were alone. Carefully looking over to him, I see that he is just pretending to work, and is instead looking at me. Quickly looking away, I look over to my bed and lay down, covering myself in my blanket, a thin veil to ward off the eyes boring into the back of my skull. It does not work as I hoped. A soft rapping on the window pulls me from whatever comfort I was tricking myself I was in. Pretending that I didn't hear anything only exacerbates the knocking. Okay, I can do this. I am getting out of here. The powers above him said so already. Standing up proves no challenge, but facing him with a modicum of bravery is. Casually trying to look as though I have control of myself is no small feat. He's not even looking at me, nor past me, just staring off into the distance. A vain attempt to look cool? Or perhaps he can't face me either. Knowing him, the former. What? Great way to start a conversation, dumbass. Antagonize him, why don't you? Wait. No. We deserve no kindness tonight. I wanted to explain myself. Alright? I've told you my loyalties lie with the station and its crew first. Their safety is my #1 priority. No excuses. And that's supposed to make it okay? That you wanted to lock me up? I never said it was okay. Or that it was an excuse. But you seemed upset. Of course I'm upset, Maruk. Why? I've told you where my priorities lie. Because I want to be out of the cell. And you will be. And maybe you would have been always. I just suggested more time to study you, that's all. And you could communicate now so that you'd get anything you'd have needed. Isn't that enough? No. I don't want to be here. I don't even know why I'm here. Fine. You're getting out anyways. So none of this matters. He turns to walk away. I can't believe him though. Like, I'd be fine in this cell. He's seen what I've been through. He's one of the only ones, and yet he still believes I'm a threat. I really can't understand him. Bastard. I feel like yelling and punching this damn wall down, but it's pointless. He's right. I'm getting out, so nothing else matters. Returning to my bed, I find myself exhausted. I simply wish to fade away. My wish is not granted. I take an unholy amount of time to find some semblance of peace. The ghastly and faint light cast over me as a veil over a corpse. Eventually, the swing of stellar waves lull me to sleep. Hopefully for the last time in the cell. Day 6. And that's where I'm going to leave it for today. So, good news, bad news, I guess? The good news is, more conversation. And he's getting out tomorrow, hopefully. Probably by the end of the day. And I guess that would probably mean that's when you also get to decide who you get stuck with, I guess, in a way. The bad news is, Maruk is still an ass. But he is an ass that has a point. It would make more sense to keep Tucker in there just in case something else happens, because even with like science fiction movies and stuff like that, you know that as soon as you let out the alien, or you have it become in contact with more people and stuff like that, that stuff happens. Like, you never... The only reason nothing has happened is because he's in the quarantine room. But technically speaking, Rowan and the dog have come into contact with him. And the dog probably has some sort of, like, advanced immune system that goes along with the heart, probably. But, Rowan hasn't gotten sick. And neither has, what's his face? Maruk. So, you know, unless you come into contact with his gut biome, which, you know, does have bacteria, which is beneficial to us, you don't know what might happen. There's, you know, there's a lot of factors that he is probably taking into consideration that the rest of them don't really consider, because even the doc, as smart as he is, does seem to underestimate the human. Well, Tucker. And Rowan probably doesn't have these thoughts in his mind yet. Head empty, eyes empty. But he's probably just introverted. He just stands in the corner because he has nothing to contribute, or he feels that he has nothing to contribute, but he's still listening. I love Rowan. I like him. Anyways, but yeah. So what are your thoughts? Are you excited for the human to finally get out and about? It's probably not going to happen in the next update. I mean, he's going to get out in the next update, but it's not going to show him being out and about yet. And it's what, like the 26th mark, and the day has 32 hours, or marks, I mean. So it's going to be pretty late in the update, I think. Well, not update, the day, because this is the first whole update. I keep saying update because every single time I end a video, it's usually at the end of an update. Anyways, but yeah. Anywho, so on the topic of choosing, I know that all three of them have a start already because I went looking through the code. And I will probably do what I did for Heart of Amethyst, which is I will record all three routes. Or actually, I'll go through one route and then see if the other two differ. And if they do, then I'll record them and I'll just have them, you know, I'll put them out so that you guys can read and then choose from there. And then as the game is updated, I will record appropriately, and then, you know, you guys can continue reading at your... Or not reading. You guys will see the video at... You know what I mean. What I usually do with all the other videos where, you know, it comes out, I record, I put it out, you watch it. Anyways. So, yeah. So, thank you all for watching / listening. If you would like to play Roads Yet Traveled, you can find it over on itch, and you can find a direct link to it from the creator's Twitter page, which I will link down in the description, as well as a Ko-fi and a Patreon that they have. So if you would like to support the project, you can subscribe to their Patreon and get early access, presumably, to builds of Roads Yet Traveled, or information, or works in progress, or whatever they might put out on their Patreon. Or if you would like to just do a one-time donation, you can, you know, donate to their Ko-fi, which, you know, will probably mean a lot to them, because it does mean a lot to me when people, you know, donate through my Ko-fi, which I do have, which is linked down in the description as well, and in my YouTube About page. So, if you would like to donate, then, you know, feel free to both of us. Anyways, but yeah, I guess that's it for now, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.